Politicians are one step closer to killing the average American's chance at energy independence, and in the process, padding the pockets of big utilities and raising everyone's electric bills. Let me back it up for a second. Congress is discussing eliminating the residential solar tax credit a decade early. This incentive has been crucial in making rooftop solar affordable for homeowners nationwide. On this special episode of Plugged In, I spoke with several solar industry experts who say that this isn't just about policy, it's personal. Liam Madden has lived many lives. He fought in Iraq with the U.S. Marine Corps. He won the Republican primary for Vermont in 2022. He's a soon-to-be father of 3, a solar industry professional, and a small business owner. But now the life he's built is in jeopardy.
It's like the perfect storm of the time to have a torpedo in the side of your industry. I have a baby on the way, a 6-year-old, 3-year-old. Big changes in life, and it'd be nice to have kind of a steady idea of what's going to happen with the industry.
A new proposed House bill would, among other measures, eliminate the 30% residential solar investment tax credit, or ITC. It was supposed to start phasing out in 2033 before disappearing in 2035. Now politicians are talking about killing it by the end of this year. That's a decade early.
Eliminate entire incentive and public policy initiatives overnight or on in very short timeframes, I think is harmful to families, communities, businesses, and the American energy ecosystem.
Lobbying efforts so far have largely focused on preserving tax credits that benefit the commercial solar sector, but it's residential solar that employs these small local solar companies, like the one that Liam works for.
I'm feeling very vulnerable as the kind of psychological wound of having more stress at the dinner table and the shame of oh shoot, your kids are seeing you wonder what you're going to do instead of just being there to be a stable, contributor to their lives. I don't want my kids to see that.
So Liam wrote a letter to Congress asking them to reconsider.
In your letter, you wrote that these politicians are currently deciding whether or not to, quote, disembowel the solar industry. That is quite a vivid descriptor. Can you explain why you use that word, why you feel that is the case?
I just know that there's a huge part of the industry, not certainly all of it, but that relies on residential sales. And with a wholesale removal of the residential tax credit, I have to imagine that, we'd be laying off a lot of guys and we would have a trickle of the work we're used to, what we're expecting.
And it is not just Liam's livelihood that's at risk. More than 100,000 people who work in residential solar could be affected. While the bill could devastate the home solar industry, its impact goes beyond that.
You have said that this isn't just about business, it's about your clients, it's about your community. So what do you think that your community or the American people stand to lose if these incentives go away? Solar
energy has become an industry that is just part of the fabric of our entire communities, right? If there's one business that does solar in your 10-mile, 30-mile radius, that's connecting to lots of families, lots of people who are now saving money on their energy bills or having access to backup power.
I spoke with research and policy specialist Aaron Nichols from Exact Solar, who says this measure would also put electricity generation back in the hands of big utilities.
When you have an incentive structure that encourages everyday people to go solar, that's not the favorite thing of many of the people who for more than 100 years have controlled the generation and sale of electricity.
Some Republican lawmakers claim that clean energy incentives only appeal to the upper class, naming this legislation working families over elites. But in reality,
it's not going to stop someone who has all the money in the world from doing solar if they're going to do solar. But it is going to really put the brakes on people who are trying to get the most out of every dollar in their families.
And 21 House Republicans wrote a letter warning that removing these clean energy incentives would lead to, quote, drastically higher power bills for American families. So yes, that means all of us, even those of you who have not considered going solar. And while the proposed ITC cut isn't law, it's already scaring some people away from taking control of their power generation.
The uncertainty has definitely stalled some projects and given some people pause who were considering going solar.
But Aaron says homeowners really should be doing the opposite.
If you are a homeowner and you have been sitting on the fence just waiting for pricing to become more favorable or for panel pricing to come down, now is the time to go solar.
While we wait to see what happens in Washington, solar industry professionals are doing all that they can to keep solar incentives for American homeowners.
If you had the chance to testify in front of Congress today, what would your message be to them?
It's a policy no-brainer to me. We had multiple votes on the solar energy tax credit that enjoyed bipartisan support. There's just no reason to take the rug out of a growing industry that's employing a lot of people, an economy that ultimately does nothing but benefit us as an entire country by helping us be resilient and less impactful on the environment. To me, this is a self-inflicted wound that rivals around the world would love if we made.
The proposal now moves to the House of Representatives, and if passed there, it will go to the Senate. Now, it is expected to see some pushback on the Senate floor, but House leaders are confident that they can get this measure to the president's desk for a signature by July 4th. The bottom line is, we don't know what's going to happen with the solar tax credit. Our best advice is, if you are even considering going solar, start the process right now so you have a better shot at claiming this incentive. And if you want to help us fight this measure, call your representative and tell them to protect America's energy independence and extend the solar tax credit beyond 2025. We have a list of key contacts at the link below to learn more about all of the ways that the ITC benefits you and your community and your country. Please check out Plugged In episode 1. We do a big deep dive. In the meantime, we'll closely be following this proposal, so be sure to subscribe and stay plugged in.